Hi, welcome back to Talk of the Town. Tucked between the mainland and Hilton Head Island and accessible only by boat, Daufuskie Island is truly unique. Master Captain with Outside Hilton Head, Charlie Thorn, is your guide for a tour of the undeveloped side of this historic sea island located off the coast of southern South Carolina. Captain Thorn, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So talk a little bit about the overall outside Hilton Head experience, Hilton Head Daufuskie experience that you actually guide.
We offer 2 trips a day this time of the year on weekdays. It's a 4.5-hour trip. We leave from Shelter Cove Marina. We have a variety of boats down there, depending on the size of the group. That determines which boat we take. It's a beautiful ride down the length of Broad Creek, across Calabogie Sound, and then down the Cooper River along the west side of Daufuskie, and we tie up at the public landing at the southwest corner. Most people call it Marshside Mama's because the restaurant there. We keep golf carts there. We get everybody in the golf cart, and then we start our tour, which takes about 2.5 hours on the island. And then we provide our guests with snacks while I dispose of the golf carts, put them away, and they'll get back on the boat and come home.
You've been doing this tour now for, I think you said, almost 33 years, right?
The company is celebrating its 33rd year this year.
Wow.
I personally have been with them for 7 years.
And what are some of the highlights of the tour, of the Daufuskie tour?
Oh, there's so many. A lot of people really enjoy meeting the artisans on the island there too that are pretty much they're very unique. Lancy Byrne is a potter. He's a 3rd-generation Daufuskie Islander, and normally when we stop at his shop, he's sitting behind the wheel working on a piece of pottery, and he's just a fascinating character. This man has sailed across the Atlantic Ocean 5 times on a 28-foot sailboat.
Wow.
And then we go across the street and visit with Chase Allen, who's a metal crafter. Does very whimsical designs of fish and mermaids and so on. Just amazing, and a very interesting guy. The other highlights I would say would be the Maradone Cemetery that dates back to the American Revolution. Excuse me. The school where Pat Conroy taught and later made famous in his book, The Water is Wide. And the First Union African Baptist Church, which is just a beautiful old building, and a lot of people just kind of gasp when they walk through the door.
So you've been personally doing the tours for 7 years, and you actually start with the boat ride and take it straight through. You do the entire guide, the entire tour of Daufuskie.
That is correct, yeah.
So what do people say after coming along? And I've read some of the comments on the website, which are very complimentary, especially towards you.
Well, thank you very much. I think a lot of people are not really sure what to expect. And I hope they all feel satisfied at the end of the trip. We've been very lucky. You mentioned people have commented on the trip. We've had some glowing reports on TripAdvisor, their website. I think most people are very satisfied with the experience. There's really, I can't think of any negatives that I've heard.
So what do people say after they come along for the tour or the guide, Charlie? What are some of the comments?
People are, I think many of them, they're surprised that it's an experience that they did not expect. They expected more of a dry history tour without any humor or things like the artisan stops and whatnot. And they've left some glowing reports on TripAdvisor, website TripAdvisor.
Daufuskie is a unique place anyway, so and people don't know that. you know, they assume it's just kind of serene and maybe just a forest over there, and when they really get into it and you're able to show them the things that you show them, especially the artistic value of it, it's amazing.
It is unique. There are very few places like it left in the country. And I'm surprised how many people who live here on Hilton Head have never been to Daufuskie.
Yeah.
And a lot of them come along because they have out-of-town guests and they want to do something unusual and interesting. And they're amazed that they've been here 8, 10, 12 years and never been to the island.
Right.
And there's so much to talk about and see over there.
There absolutely is. And so if people do want to do the tours, the trips, how do they get a hold of you?
Just call our office, 686-6996, and we've got reservations there.
They can go to the website too, and I know
Go
we
to
have
the
that
website.
on the screen outside HiltonHead.com.
Correct.
And they can just sign up there, they can find out more information about it, and they can get the times and the dates, etc.
Sure. Or they can come by the marina at Shelter Cove, our kiosk at Shelter Cove. We have brochures. They can ask all the questions they want. They can see our boats. And for people who are local, that might be the way to learn more about it.
Absolutely. And just as a side note before we close, you've written a book based on Daufuskie Island, and you're going to come back and share that with us at another time. And what is the name of the book? The
name of the book is Children of Shadows. And the setting was inspired by Daufuskie, and it has to do with the difficult issue of heirs property, which is still a problem in this part of the country.
Good. Well, we look forward to you coming back and talking about that too, Charlie. Thank you.
Look forward
to
seeing you again.
And thank you for what you do. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we thank you so much. We will be right back with Talk of the Town.